we are joined by Matt Coleman with Logan Thompson. Good morning, Matt. How are you?
Good morning, Bridget. How are you this morning?
We are doing well. So I know this morning you're going to be touching on a pretty big topic, and it's going to emphasize how important it is to go with a law firm that has experience and will look into all options.
Yeah, you know, and I was joking with Steve last night as I was telling him about the topic. You get to see the lawyer side of me rather than the school board side of me this time. But you know, when I meet with my clients, one of the first things that we really talk about is as they evaluate their case and as they evaluate the analysis of how we're going to go about concluding it, we talk about liability and we talk about damages and we talk about the ability to pay. But the analysis really doesn't end right there, especially in some of these more catastrophic cases. And you know, so when we look at where can this lawsuit be filed, you know, Tennessee is an incredibly conservative state, and I love it for that. But we also have very, very conservative juries. We have very conservative legislatures, and some years back they passed reform on tort law, which is really injury and death law. Negligence law. They passed a reform that said the value of somebody's life is $750,000 for non-economic damages. That's the pain and suffering side of that. And in some cases you can get that up to $1 million, and that sounds like a lot of money, and it probably did 15 years ago. But you know, if you've been dramatically injured, and we'll talk about a guy that is just a pedestrian who was hit by a delivery truck driver and spends the rest of his life in a wheelchair needing the care of others. You know, I don't think that there's really a dollar figure that gets you there. But the legislature in their wisdom has determined that that is the cap. And so we have to look at, is Tennessee the best place to bring all of our lawsuits? Okay. When that cap was put in place, it took about 10 years for us to get a jury verdict in excess of that amount so that they could actually bring it before the Supreme Court and get that challenged. And it was upheld at that point. So it is the law of the land. But it doesn't mean that all lawsuits get filed in Tennessee or in Bradley County. And so we look at cases where the law may be a little different, where those caps may not always apply, where the jury verdicts may be more favorable to the injured parties and to the families, and you look for those nexuses to that community, maybe the home state of the employer or the business that is there. You've got tractor trailers moving up and down the interstate all the time, and we hear about so many of the wrecks that occur there. A lot of those drivers are controlled from other places. They're told when to stop, when to go, how long they're allowed to have breaks in between destination points, how quick they have to get there. And that exhaustion upon so many of those drivers results in some of the injuries that have occurred out here on our interstates. And so we look to those other places to see, is there a better option? Is there an opportunity for us to look at those states? We consult with firms in those other communities and try to get their insights and get their cooperation to really do the best we can for this community. Now, it's been great being at Logan Thompson for what is now, I guess, 15 years with them at some point, and given me the opportunity to have, you know, so many wonderful partners and Jimmy and Robert and others that have just brought a wealth of knowledge and experience in there and have taught me so much. But we oftentimes just get around the coffee table and say, what are some different theories? What are some different opportunities we can have to help the people of this community and those traveling through this community to achieve those results and get those answers?
Talking with Matt Coleman with Logan Thompson. So, you know, it doesn't matter what's going on in someone's life. You know, if it's a big issue, a smaller issue, chances are you all have dealt with that. You have the experience, and that's what sets you all apart.
Yeah, it has been great. I mean, we've got, I don't know, probably 12 attorneys now in there. We had, I think Judge Bucket may have come in here sometime back, and he's come in part-time with the office, and so he'll sit down with us and share some of his insights on the way we might view cases differently. And just having that experience, I tell a lot of folks, when you're hiring us, you're not hiring one person, you're hiring everybody. You're hiring folks that are in the community, that know those jurors, that go to church here, have their kids in school here, are involved in the community here, and spend our money back here, spend those earnings back into this community. And so it has been great. I mean, a lot of folks put the tagline, your hometown law firm, but when they live in other communities in Alabama or Chattanooga, they're not spending their money back here and giving back. And so it has been a pleasure to be here, to work here, and to learn here, and to grow as an attorney and as a law practice. I think we're probably bigger than ever, and we're continuing to see that growth happen.
Talking with Matt Coleman with Logan Thompson. Yeah, the growth continues there at Logan Thompson. What is the best way for someone to reach out and if they are in need?
Well, I was chatting with some folks from my church the other day, and sometimes it's just, grabbing me by the sport coat while we're sitting there in the sanctuary. But you can call the office at 476-2251, or you can email us at mcoleman@loganthompsonlaw.com, and the website's got a lot of good information on there. And oftentimes just give us a call and come in and see us, or stop in the front door. Betty's up there, and she loves to put a smile on your face and bring you something to drink, and so just come down and see us.
All right, that's Matt Coleman, Logan Thompson. Thanks for stopping by to see us this morning.
Thank you, Bridget.
All righty, it is 8:48. You can see full news on our website, mymix1041.com.